Can you tell us about yourself and your background?
Yeah, my name's Dave. As a child, basically I started riding motorcycles. By the time I was in high school, I'd already spent quite a bit of time in the hospital with broken bones. I probably injured my back the first time before even graduation. I've raced all kinds of stuff, been in motorsports all my life, and obviously have suffered through the wear and tear of many injuries, and it all started catching up to me in my 40s and my 50s for sure. So it got to the point where I could barely get through a day, and in many cases if I did something to exaggerate the pain levels, I'd be down for weeks.
After getting the treatment for some time, what were some things that you're able to do now that you were unable to before?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because keeping in mind that I'm pushing 70 years old, I work right now 14 to 16 hours a day. I can be on my feet all day long, building race motors, or here recently I've been doing a lot of work in race boats, drag boats, when like yesterday I spent half the day crawling in and out of the capsule, is what they call it, on a race boat, where I actually have to get upside down and crawl into it and then get myself out of it. And previously I couldn't have even got in. I couldn't have been able to crawl up on the hull, and now I'm crawling in and out and working all day long. It's absolutely incredible that I'm able to do that level of work or anything again. That's a fact. I don't want to give up yet. So, and I'm back at the 40-year-old level now. It's great.
After attempting treatments in the US with no real solution, you went to ViviSTEM in Mexico. How was your journey trying to get your life back?
I think first I pursued the spinal side of it, and so I ended up getting all kinds of physical therapies, chiropractic care. It even kind of came down to the point where I was getting regular nerve blocks and things of that nature. In fact, the nerve blocks would last, maybe here in recent years, would only last 3 to 6 months, and then I'd be back getting more nerve blocks and nerve-related procedures, trying to take care of it. I didn't want to do surgical intervention, so I kept trying to find other ways to take care of the pain without going in and doing surgery and fusing up vertebrae and things like that. That just wasn't, to me, an acceptable answer. And that's when I started looking into the stem cells, exosomes, things of that nature. I found that their availability here in the United States was very limited, so I started looking outside of the United States for other opportunities.
What words would you say to people that are hesitant on getting the treatment?
Well, it was exciting, and also I was a little anxious about it, because it was for sure a therapy that wasn't available in the States, and so you have a little bit of hesitation about doing something like that. And so I was both anxious and excited. I went and followed up and had it done, and within days I was feeling the results, and within weeks it was incredible. I couldn't believe it. I've had pain probably most of my life, and after the first treatment, it seemed to me within days I was pain-free, and I don't think I'd experienced pain-free in my memory. From my first injuries in high school, I've always had pain. and to be able to get rid of that pain completely. I'd have days with no pain at all, and it was absolutely exhilarating. I was excited like a kid on Christmas. It was so good, but it was definitely, I was happy with the outcome, to say the least. Well, I know that everybody's got to be hesitant about going out of the United States. They got to be hesitant. I mean, it costs a little bit of money, and it's not approved here in the States. And so those things combined are going to make you hesitant. But trust me, and I'm not saying it is going to work for everybody. I can tell you it worked for me. Like I said earlier, I'm near 70 years old. I'm still building race motors. I'm crawling in and out of the capsules on drag boats, and I'm doing things that I did back in my 30s and 40s, but I'm doing them without pain now. And that's just, for me, it was a miracle. And I hope everybody can experience that same level of reprieve from nagging pain. It was well worth it for me. I'd do it again in an instant.
Can you tell us about that experience and why ViviSTEM?
The quality of the stem cells and the exosomes was awesome. It took very little time to get it done, and within days I was feeling results. Within weeks I was absolutely pain-free, and I hadn't been pain-free since, I can't even remember, since those very early injuries, coming out of high school. So to experience that was beyond belief. And I was excited like a kid at Christmas. I couldn't believe I was really without pain again. So I have to encourage anyone that's thinking about it to think deeply about it. It's absolutely worthwhile to do so. It's the miracle you've been waiting for.
Why would you recommend ViviSTEM to people that are looking to treat these kind of problems?
Well, the way I was treated was incredible. They picked me up here in the United States. They took me through customs, which I think anybody that's dealt with customs, you're always a little hesitant. They got me through customs, got me back to the States the same way without any issues. The people at the facility were awesome. They talked me through every step of it, told me what I would experience, how long it was going to take. I think one of their big hesitations was fears of needles. Of course, I've been in the hospital enough that I'm not afraid of needles. But they walked me through it and made me comfortable with the process. I can't recall exactly. I think the whole process maybe took an hour. So I was in and out and back in the United States in probably 2 hours' time.